Hi there, this is Tad Hargrave with Radical Business. Welcome back to another installment talking about the niche. So in this installment, I want to talk about 8 important premises of picking your niche. I noticed when I first started talking about this, a lot of the marketing trainings, people would freak out at the weekends because they'd think I was asking them to sort of make this life-changing decision in one weekend about where their business was going. So before we move into the sort of technical, how do you pick a target market, and all this, I think it's probably important for us to cover a little bit of groundwork. So the first premise I want to talk about is the idea that you can be explicit without being exclusive. And this is really, really important. Just because, let's say you pick a target market, you say, I'm going to have my business focus on graphic designers in my city. And that's the target market you're going to serve. Just because that's your niche, and maybe that's sort of the core thing, doesn't mean you can't work with people who aren't graphic designers. It doesn't mean you have to turn everyone else away. It just means that that's going to be your focus, and that's strategically how you're going to think in terms of designing materials, designing your marketing campaigns. So you can be explicit, totally clear about who you're going after, and still work with other people. Because if you work with those graphic designers, and let's say you're a marketing consultant, and that's sort of your target market. Well, the truth is, if they like what you do and they're thrilled, they're going to tell their friends. And not all of their friends will be graphic designers. So they're going to tell their friends, and you can still work with them and keep your marketing focused on that one area. So that's the first premise. The second is that this is really important. A niche can be phased in and probably should be phased in. A lot of times people they freak out because they think it has to be an overnight thing. They have to switch over, and just don't do that. You'll kill yourself. Better to phase it in. A good way to look at it when you're thinking of a new niche is, let's say you decide, okay, I'm going to focus on, I'm a realtor, and I'm going to focus on the handicap market. There's a lot of folks who just finding a new house for them as a handicapped person. It's tricky. There's all these different constraints. How accessible is the house? What's it going to cost to get the ramps and different things put in? How accessible is it? Just in general. Well, if you try to flip over to that overnight, you may not have all the homework done necessary. But you can start to phase it in over time and just do specific promotions. Let friends know. Start building up that clientele. If you're a restaurant and you want to start focusing on a new niche, well, if you're a restaurant, first of all, you're probably not just going to have one niche. But you can start phasing things in. You can do one promotion and just see how it is. Again, if you're a holistic practitioner, which I imagine a number of you are, if you're a holistic practitioner and you say, I want to focus on people working in environmental organizations who sit in front of their computer all day and are just totally cramped in their bodies because they sit for 14 hours at a desk, and you decide, okay, I want to work with that target market, you can do 1 or 2 promotions. Start telling friends about it and phase it in slowly over time. The third premise is that, this one's so important too, is that a niche may take a while to identify. And that's okay. If you're just starting in business, if it's like year 1 for you, take time to tinker. A lot of times, it's funny, there's 2 dangers with this whole niche business. One is waiting, just sort of taking way too long to do it and never really identifying a clear target or set of targets for your business. But the other one is trying to do it too soon. And if you pick a target just to pick a target, it's a smart business decision, but it may not be a smart personal decision. And it may make your business really unfulfilling in the long term. So what I suggest, let yourself take your time, tinker. And a great sort of way to tinker is notice who's coming to you already. Who are you already attracting? If you've been in business for a while and you haven't picked a niche, it's a great situation to be in because you can look at it and say, well, who are my clients? And the homework I would suggest for you is to think about what are the top 3 types of people who come to my business, who seem to show up. And those can often be great niches to work with. Just look at who's already showing up. But again, take time. Don't feel like you have to rush this. And it's good to know, some of the things we're going to be covering in terms of what to look for a good niche. That can be great to have in mind during the process, but it just may take time, and that's fine. The fourth thing is that you're already losing people. You already turned some people off, almost guaranteed. And that's good. It's better to turn some people off even strongly than to just be sort of lukewarm and appeal to nobody. there's a hotelier in New York. He owns this boutique hotel, and it's this just very avant-garde hotel. And 24 out of 25 people in this survey in the New York Times hate his hotel. And they interviewed him and asked him about it, and he said, well, so that's fine. Let 24 out of 25 hate my hotel because 1 out of 25 loves my hotel. So that's the first 4. We're going to cover 4 more in the next video. So pay attention again. At the end of the video, there's a website you can go to, and we'll be back with the next 4 premises of identifying your niche.